How's it going? I'm Ryan, and today I'm going to go over the four trades I took on NQ. I had two winners, two losers, ended up the day with a slightly positive green day overall. Overtraded a little bit, probably could have taken maybe one or two of these trades at most and had a more productive day. But we'll take a winning day. Didn't go until, didn't size up. Kind of kept to my rules, kept stop losses in place, and yeah, had decent risk management, which allowed a 50% win rate to result in a win. So we'll get into those four trades in just a second. Really quick, I want to go over kind of what I was watching coming into the day. Really, the big things, big areas that we were watching were this 2,226 area and this 2,163, as well as we had Friday's low of day. So we were kind of range bound, pretty choppy day overall. Let's take a look at how we traded. So one thing that I was watching coming into the day was a break and hold of this level right here. So I was saying that this 2,225 or so, you can see on the hourly we have resistance, we have support, and then resistance, and then throughout. So I was looking for, I should preface this by saying in the pre-market, we had this big dip and then we were rallying up. In the morning, we opened up looking pretty strong, broke through this level. Also, another thing that I was watching, you can see pretty clearly on this hourly, is kind of like this rough resistance, right? We had this downtrend, so we were kind of coinciding that with that level there. So I was watching to see if we could break both of those, hold, retest, and then continue up if we were strong. Otherwise, was watching for a break to the downside. So let's talk about it. Like I said, we opened the day pretty strong, right? Right out of the gate, we had this big green candle. We came up, we broke above this level, got a big move up, came down, retested. This would have been a good entry, but it happened pretty quick. I suppose I could have entered maybe on this candle or this candle, but was looking for an entry a little bit closer to this level to have reduced risk. So I missed this first retest here, this break and retest here. I missed this. My first trade was on as we pulled back again. Once we retested this and printed this hammer here, I entered a long position on this candle here. So I was looking for price to be strong in this area. We can take a look at the 15-minute and see that we looked pretty bullish. We had this huge move up, and then we started pulling back. Or excuse me, I'm sorry. It was right here. We had this big move up, and then we were pulling back into this area. We retested both that EMA and that level, printed that hammer, so I felt pretty good about going long here. I was risking kind of off the bottom of these wicks in here. It was a 15-point stop. My target was around near the high of day, so it was looking about a 30-point win for a 15-point stop, so about a 2-to-1 trade there. Now, something that I could have paid better attention to is that if you look, we had some resistance in this area. You see in the pre-market, in the pre-market we had already rejected out of this area. And then if you look in the morning price action, right, we have this high a day. We slightly break it, but have a bit of a long upper wick there. Test it again, can't break it, and then pull back. So kind of like a triple top here, and the fact that we weren't able to break that high a day convincingly shows that maybe some of that momentum wasn't quite there. So I think that's something that I could have been a little wary of in terms of catching this pullback. I still 2-to-1 risk to reward. I don't dislike this trade. I don't feel like I took a terrible trade. It could have been a little bit prettier of a setup if we had a little bit more strength, as opposed to kind of failing to break out and then pulling back. So that was my first trade, and I was stopped out on this move down. My second trade was a short position right after. So once we did look weak, we broke down, we came up and we retested this EMA kind of around that level as well. I entered a short position here. So this is my second trade of the day, and this is a winning trade. As we came down, I took profit around this area because we had some consolidation. You see a couple candle closes and opens in the pre-market in that area. So that was my target. It was also a little bit lower than this swing low that we had established. So if we're looking at lower highs, lower lows, I was expecting this swing low here to be broken and then targeting kind of this next little area of consolidation that we had in the pre-market as my target. So as we came down, that hit my first profit, take profit. I had one runner left. I moved my stop a little bit too far down, and this little spike up stopped me out before we moved down completely. My next target for my take profit was down here around yesterday's low day. So that would have worked out. Like I said, I moved my stop loss a little bit too far down into profit. I probably should have kept it more around break even until we had established, a swing high or so, such as we did here. And then move it to that swing high and let that thing run, because it did run, another 50 points or so. So got stopped out. That runner could have been pretty profitable there, but that was my second trade of the day, and that had me up about $20 on the day. So a very small win at this point. Now, my third trade, and this was probably the worst of them all, I'll say, is I was watching this area in here around like 2,150. We're looking at this 15-minute. You see we bounced here, bounced here, bounced here. Here we kind of broke down and quickly reclaimed it and made a run up. So as we came down and we formed this hammer here, I entered a long position here. I was looking for us to bounce, as we had, 1, 2, 3, 4 times before. I did wait until we retested this level right here and got a hammer. But it was a little bit of a anticipatory trade, right? I didn't have a whole lot of confirmation that we were going to bounce. And then you see that we broke down almost down to this low where we bounced, and then we got that quick bounce out of the area. So I was kind of hoping for something like this reaction just here. And I was targeting kind of this swing high as my target. So it was a little bit of a prayer, right? It was like a 40-point target. Once again, I think I had 11-point stop. I did take this with smaller size. I will say I was taking 5 contracts. I took this trade with 3 because I knew it was a little bit riskier. So I took it with 3 contracts, and I only had an 11-point stop for a 40-point take profit. So about a 4-to-1 risk reward with smaller size. I was really just looking to see if we could get a strong bounce out of this area, as we'd seen numerous times before. So a little bit riskier here. It didn't work out. I got stopped out. So that was my third trade. So I had a loss up here on a long, a win on a short, a loss on a long. And at this point I was down, I think $60 or like 40, because I was up a little bit, and this was a little over. It was like a $70 loss with 3 contracts. So I was down like $60 or something, 60, $50. My fourth and final trade was a long position right here. And the reason why I took that is because, similarly to why I took the long position here, I was watching this chart, seeing that we got these strong bounces out of this area. We were pretty range bound. So really, after we recovered and claimed this level again, looked pretty bullish. We see that high volume as we rally up. We came back, we retested yesterday's low as well as this EMA. I entered some contracts here. I sized for this 6 contracts, so I bought 3 on this pullback, and then as we dipped a little lower, I bought another 3 to average down for a total of 6 contracts. My stop loss was a break below this level. My average entry was around this low of Friday. So I had about a 11 or 12-point stop on this from here to here, and my target initially was kind of this swing high. You see we got a strong push up that hit my first take profit. I sold 4 contracts. I had 2 remaining at this point. I moved my stop loss to a little above break even on my remaining 2 contracts, and then I had a take profit target up here, which we just narrowly missed and then I had to take profit at this next level. So I was just kind of looking for the return to the top of that range, which ultimately we did here. But when we pulled back on this drop, that stopped out my remaining 2 contracts for a small win. Overall, my profit was about $76 on the day, so this is growing a little bit. You can see that my wins were bigger than my losses, which is the biggest key, right? I had 2 wins, 2 losses, but ended up with a positive day overall. In the morning, or excuse me, in the beginning of this video, I said that if I just took 1 or 2 of these trades, it would have been a much better day overall. The best trade that I took was this short right here. Why? Because we failed to break higher. We came back down into this range. We retested the EMA and that level, looked weak. So I waited for this confirmation. I entered on this candle. I had a clear, break above this level would have been my stop. I had a clear take profit, and that was my most profitable trade, I believe. It moved really nice. So, and had I managed my running stop loss, my trailing stop loss for my runner, if I managed that a little bit better, I could have had a really nice winner here. As you see, from my entry to down here, it's almost 100 points. It's about 80 points or so. So that was the best trade that I took. Had I just taken this, I would have had about a $200 profit day. Even with my runner getting stopped out. That was about a $200 trade. So, had I managed that, we could have been looking at, easily close to $300 or so on that. This trade in here wasn't bad. I like the idea, right? That we had failed to break down. We looked strong on that 15-minute. We're holding that level. We're looking for a return to the top of that range. It did do so. It just kind of chopped around a little bit for about an hour or a little less, maybe 40 minutes before it did. So this last trade wasn't terrible either. First trade wasn't terrible. Second trade was good. Third trade was a little risky, but at least I managed my risk by a smaller size and a tight stop loss. And the fourth trade was all right. We kind of got some erratic price action that prevented it from being as good as it could have been. But that's all I got for you today. This will probably be the last time I trade this demo account. Well, for now, I actually just reopened my challenge account through Apex. So I'm going to be trading a 50K Apex challenge account, trying to get funded. I grew this, almost $3,500 in profit. And I'm looking to do the same thing on an Apex account and hopefully get funded so I can start actually making real money. Obviously, there's challenges to that, but if I continue to trade as I have been on this account, things should work out all right. I feel like I'm kind of hitting my stride, keeping my losses on the smaller side, having more consistency, being more patient, taking better setups, etc. So we'll see if my account is opened up in time to trade tomorrow. If not, actually, I guess I can't trade tomorrow. Working. No, I can. Yeah, I'll be trading tomorrow. I'll work a little later tomorrow. I can trade. So I apologize for the rambling, but what I'm trying to say is we had a decent day. It could have been worse, but we'll take the win. I appreciate you watching very much. Thank you. I'll be streaming live this week. Aside from Wednesday, I will be absent, but the rest of this week I should be live. Hope you have a great rest of the day. Peace.